Hello, welcome to the Enginerdy Show. This is Mr. Pold.
I'm St. Jimmy.
I'm Chewbacca. And I'm DVD.
Whoa, Chewbacca sounds like you doing a voice.
Weird. It's because I raised him.
That's true. Okay, that makes sense. He's learned it by watching you.
He's a cold-hearted Wookiee. Look into his eyes.
He's pretty. Isn't he a little short for a Wookiee?
Hey. This guy's little wings.
Oh, this is so little.
Don't look at me like that.
Our fake sponsor this week is the Quantum Mechanics. They fix a discrete quantity of cars.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
They work on it in their garage while it never leaves yours.
Superposition?
Yes. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or they work on their own car and your car gets fixed.
Ooh.
Oh, they should sell houses with built-in like robot mechanics. But then a robot mechanic can take it over when you need work done, and it just does the work.
Entanglement.
Be like a...
I picked my pickup up from the shop today.
Did you?
I dropped it off this morning and picked it up after work.
You picked up your
It's
pickup.
going to shops
Does it work?
Oh,
Well, so here's what happened. They put a new motor in it, and
yes.
I told them, make sure the air conditioner works, because it's been on the fritz, and my wife's taking this to Idaho where it's really hot.
Yes.
And so they said they checked it out, they charged it up, and it was working when we got it. And then she took it on her trip, and like halfway into her trip down there, it stopped working. Well, it was working off and on. So I was like, well, just take it to a shop down there and have them look at it. So they replaced some low pressure sensor and switch and recharged it, and it worked until halfway home it stopped working again, and for like 2 hours of the trip, and then it started working.
Do you have a leak? Well, it wouldn't stop working and start working again.
Gremlin.
Right.
That sounds like an electrical problem.
So that's what I've been telling everybody. Like, I think it has an electrical issue.
And they don't believe you.
But they always...
No, it just needs recharge.
Yeah.
Like the last 8 times I did it?
Well, it doesn't have a leak because they did check. Everybody checks for leaks.
Right.
So I took it to the shop today, and they called me this afternoon and said, yeah, we checked it, and there was too much Freon in it. It's like, oh, thanks, shop in our hometown. So now it's working, at least so far.
Is it because they just like, oh, it's not working, let's just add
Or
Freon?
was it because...
Well, they had to totally drain it out
Oh, did they? Okay.
to change out that
I was just
switch.
Or was it that it was a higher temperature there and they came over here and the lower temperature messed with it?
But when the temperature goes down, the pressure goes down.
It should go down. So on the little self-recharge kit, you have to set what the outside temperature is when you're doing it. And then it's supposed to fall in that zone.
And when they set it for 105, they forgot and they set 105 Kelvin.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it was way
that's
off.
pretty cold.
Or the guy didn't check the actual temperature.
It was a woman. The one in our hometown.
The
There's
one woman
one woman in our hometown.
No,
It
not
has to be
the
the mechanic?
mechanic here. The mechanic back
Oh,
where
gotcha.
she got it
One.
overcharged.
So
Woman mechanic in our
I'm not going to
hometown.
say anything.
So while my wife was gone last weekend, I was really burnt out from work because I think that week, by time I left work Wednesday, I already had 10 hours of overtime in 3 days.
Nice.
So and I worked some overtime Saturday morning, and I was just like, I was so burnt out, I need to get out of town. So I went and visited Masters Ed and Charlie. It was awesome. We watched a movie, we went to a river and kayaked, and we rented a paddle board that you stand up on, and it has a really long
You
paddle.
can stand up on a kayak, right?
It's not
Pretty sure.
designed for that. So we went to
For at least for a
this
little while.
Tualatin River.
Tualatin.
Sorry, I'm not from there. Never lived there.
Okay.
You lived there.
I did.
And there's this organization that rents out kayaks and stuff. Well, Master Zed and Charlie each have their own kayak, so we got there and they just rented a paddleboard, and then
That's pronounced paddleboard.
Master Zed used the paddleboard first while we went upriver,
Yeah.
and then we turned around and
battled some hippos.
just a little ways after we turned around, we switched, and I took over the paddleboard.
Is it nerdy? I would make it dirty.
So the paddleboard was cool. It was.
Especially when you fall in. That pulls you off real good.
I did fall in once. So I was like,
That's
I got
pretty
on it and I did fine. And finally, after just a little ways, I was like, okay, this feels pretty natural. I'm going to adjust my feet and see if I can get it.
You were trying to hang 10, weren't you?
Yeah,
No.
he was.
But so I was adjusting my feet, and then all of a sudden, it just like shot out from under me, and I went backwards head first into the water. And I'm wearing my glasses that I've only had for a few weeks now, and they weren't all the way off, so I like pushed them on. But then I think when I breached the surface, I instinctively shook my head,
Like a dog.
and they came off.
Oh,
And
I should've done
I
that.
just like reached in the direction I thought they went and grabbed them under the surface and put them on. So I still have them.
Impressive.
And then I gathered the hat that I was wearing and the life jacket that was sitting on the back of the board. And my paddle was floating away. And then with those, I swam back over the board.
Maybe
Now
randomly
it
And
falling
then
in the
you
water
boarded it.
runs in the
I
family.
boarded the board. That was the only incident I had.
So he picked up his pickup and boarded the board.
Yes, I did.
All right.
But it was fun. And then I paddled all the way back. We were out there for over 3
Well,
hours.
the part where the life jacket wasn't on you.
Weird. I didn't wear a jacket the whole time.
Life jacket.
Life jacket.
It was a life.
We did take a break partway back in a nice swimming spot and swam for a while.
Having your life jacket on the back of the board would be like having airbags, but them all removed and set in the back seat.
You don't do that?
No.
Oh, weird.
So I keep mine.
They're in the trunk.
Just in case the groceries are in there.
If you mounted them to the bottom of the car, then if you got an accident, it would launch your car to safety.
That'd be funny.
To safety.
Theoretically, it could be safer somewhere else.
Maybe there just happens to be a bounce house on the side of the freeway and you land in that.
Sure.
Well, maybe make one that pops out the outside of your car, so when it senses you're about to hit something, it inflates, so you just bounce off, or bounces them off, I guess.
Or it creates a mini
Depending on its more
wormhole.
mass.
It transports you
For
somewhere
you.
else in the universe.
Oh.
Yes, randomly.
Just randomly. That'd be scary.
Be
What's
less
the world's
effective.
water?
In the universe?
Oh, randomly in the universe. That's even less water than that.
Yes.
It's a very dry universe.
It
So
is.
I got in trouble for going without my wife to visit because she loves
Aw.
visiting them. And
How does that get you in trouble? She's having fun doing her stuff.
I know, but then I told her the movies I saw while she was gone. And
Did you tell her you were trying to get out of moving a piano?
No, because I had to move the piano.
Oh, that's like
anyways.
used for nerd cred.
Oh
Aw.
yeah, I got a piano. It was weird because
A piano?
I was helping someone move, and they were asking everybody there if they want a piano, and I was like, probably not, but I better ask my wife. So I took a pic, texted it to her, said, hey, do you want a piano? And she's like, I do, but we don't really have anywhere to put it. And I was like, well, we could put it in this place if we move some stuff. She was like, okay, let's do it. So I'm like, okay, the problem is I'm leaving straight from here to go visit Master
Oh, I
Zed.
didn't realize that the piano was asked, or you got the piano that early before we ended up with it.
Yeah, so I left there. The last thing I did before I headed to Portland was I helped someone put the piano in the back of their pickup because they were going to hold it overnight for me. So when I got back from Master Zed's the next day, he could just bring it to the house and we would unload it. But shortly after I
He called me,
got out of town, he
and I
calls
talked him out of
Mr.
leaving it
Cold.
outside overnight.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's not good for pianos.
Well, I figured it wasn't probably in the best shape anyways. But
Could make it worse.
anyways, they unloaded it at DVD's house without me while I was driving to visit Master's
I
Ed.
tell you, a pickup is not the proper method to transport.
Well, my
materials.
idea was to put it in the moving truck, move it to the new house, and then when I got a pickup back in a couple days,
pick it
I would
up?
come pick it up
Mm.
with the pickup, which we would still be moving it in and out of a pickup, but
So now you're picking things up with the pickup
yes,
that you picked up
that's why they call it a pickup. Eh?
yesterday.
So, anyways, then it was in DVD's garage, and so Monday after work, we all came and took it to my house and put it in my house.
Using a trailer
Yep,
Yep.
using DVD's
that we had to
drift boat trailer
use
modified.
a Dremel to cut the lock off.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
like butter, man.
Yeah, let me know how much a lock costs. I'll give you some money.
Right.
The other fiasco I had going on the last week is the license plate on my motorcycle. It's just mounted at the top,
Mm-hmm.
2 holes, and it's just
Flat.
cantilevered, so it sits back there and vibrates.
Oh, recording.
So then, underneath where it's attached, starts cracking,
Right.
and I've actually lost a license plate before because it cracked all the way, and all that was left were the corners.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, before that happened, a few months ago, I flipped it upside down. So I've been driving with the license plate upside down, which worked fine.
Is that about securing the bottom of it so it doesn't rattle?
Well, I'd have to build a frame or something.
DVD will do it for you. Just kidding.
So then I got to where I had to renew the tab. So I figured, okay, well, I got to renew the tab. I will get a new license plate. So I get online, look it up, and it says, oh, you have to go into the office to get a plate. They can't send you over one if you order it online. I'm like, okay.
They can.
So Friday, I left work earlier than normal, so I only worked 1 hour of overtime so that I could get there before they closed. So I get off work, go catch the ferry, get on the bus that's going to take me to my car, and the bus gets a flat tire. So I'm like, great. And there's another bus that goes the other way that I could have jumped on, and it went by right when we were pulling off the road. So I was like, okay, so that bus doesn't run again for probably at least half an hour, maybe an hour. And so the driver's like, okay, they're going to send another bus, but it won't be here for 40 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
Like, okay. And she goes, well, you can walk down to the other ferry dock and catch the bus that's going to be there in like 20 minutes.
Block.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk down there,
You just missed the bus.
and I'm waiting for that bus, and about 5 minutes before that bus is supposed to come, a bus shows up that has the number of the one that had the flat tire, which normally doesn't go there. So I asked the driver, I was like, hey, will you take me to the park and ride where my car is? And he goes, yeah. So I get on, and he goes, well, I got to go by the other ferry dock first. I'm like, great.
So you have to sit there.
And he goes, okay. Or he goes, but we'll probably get there about the same time as the other bus that I was waiting for. So I'm like, okay. Well, then we get to the other ferry dock, and they had missed a boat. So there was 2 boats worth of people to get on the bus. So it was packed. And then it's a bus that just makes a loop.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy pulls out and then turns and goes the opposite direction so that I'm the last stop instead of the first one.
Oh, man.
So I get to my car, and I did not have time to go get a license plate, so I just went home. It's like I got home
This wasn't meant to be.
the same time as if I had just stayed and worked another hour.
Yeah.
So that lost me an hour's worth of overtime. So then Monday, I try again. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try again, same plan. Leave work at 3, take the ferry, get on the bus, get to my car, drive to the place, get there well before they close, go in. Our computers are down. It's actually all the computers in the county. Oh, okay. So I'm not getting a license plate today either. So
You
Tuesday,
could have just mailed it to me.
I know. So Tuesday, same thing. Leave work at 3. Miss out on another hour of overtime. So this is 3 hours now.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Take the ferry, take the bus, take the car, get there, and no problem. I get a license plate in no time. So it's installed, and I wrote it yesterday.
Day one, since you're leaving that much earlier than I usually do, I could have just got my car keys from you, taking my car to the place.
There's a bus.
There's usually not a problem with the bus.
Well,
And
I usually have
that wouldn't have
bus.
helped Monday when their computers were down.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's the nice thing about the ferry is there's a bus for every ferry now. So I can leave any time and get to my car efficiently.
Conceivably.
Unless the bus gets a flat tire, which in the 8 years I've been riding the buses around here has never happened before.
Remember, I got in a car accident on the bus. Not that
That's
long
Was
ago.
it a
True.
bus accident?
That wasn't
Yes.
ours
It was a
bus,
carnival
though.
too.
Oh, okay.
That was the bus going to the airport.
Yes.
So I played in my penultimate softball game
Oh,
this week.
are your ribs doing better?
Yes, my ribs actually are fine now.
It's because of the golf.
No?
Yeah, the golf must have
Stretched them out.
helped it out a little, I guess.
Okay.
We got destroyed.
Oh,
We got spanked very badly. I think at the end
I
of
think you're playing it wrong.
4 innings, we were down like
I've been
it
a
was
very naughty
probably
boy.
30-2.
So why did they mercy
What?
rule you?
That was the mercy rule.
Oh.
Was we stopped
Okay.
at the fifth inning or whatever, and the other part of the mercy was the other team put in a guy that had never pitched before, and so we got like 8 runs that last inning.
Were they
Wow.
all walks?
A lot of them were walks. The one run I got was walk to first,
Walk
run
to
to
walk.
second, walk to third, run to home. But the guy after me walked home.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, when the guy throws it behind you, it's
Yeah, it's a little hard to hit.
No, you back up and hit it. That's what I would do.
You would.
I just moved
Swing
out of the way.
backwards. You take
But-
it. You just
so-
back up so it hits you. And then
I was so my wife wasn't going to be able to make it, and so I was strongly considering just skipping it.
Now
But-
you wish you had.
Well, just as always, when I am very tempted to skip it is when they needed me to show up or they wouldn't have enough people.
Oh,
And this time there would have been 2 people short because one of our players showed up in sandals for some reason,
what?
and so another couple showed up without gloves.
gloves.
And I'm just like, what the?
You know where you're going, right?
Yeah, you know. So they when
Oh,
I
how
showed
did I
up, they're
end
like,
up here?
"Do you have an extra glove?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do have my wife's glove." "Do you have extra shoes?"
It's a woman's glove, though.
And so I looked and I'm like, "Yeah, I got shoes," and I told them what size they were. "Oh, that's my size." So
Wow.
she wore my
What are
wife's
the
shoes
odds?
and my wife's mitt.
Do you have an extra wedding ring? Should we make out? Or,
Her husband was there too.
well, what did he
You didn't want
borrow?
to make out with
yours?
him, though, did you?
No,
He borrowed my shirt and pants.
you have softball
He
pants.
was started
Yes, I
making
do.
fun of you guys. Pretend to be you.
Take my wife, please. Oh,
Anyway, we got destroyed.
So if you hadn't shown up, you would have saved them all that embarrassment.
because they would have been short like 4 people. It sounds like.
They felt bad for us. I was talking to one that I was playing first base,
Like, can I switch teams?
and the guy that got to first was like, "Is this your team's first time playing?"
Yeah,
I said, "Well, we do have 4 or 5."
we thought we joined a volleyball league.
Yeah, like we
Sure
do
enough,
have
they
4
give us
or
a
5 players who this is their first year playing. So he's like, "Oh, I was on a team like that once."
Are you guys a bowling league? Because,
You should have asked, "Are you engineers?"
yeah,
Yes. Okay, that explains.
we're
why you-
athletically impaired.
Yeah.
Especially for mechanical
We
engineering.
weren't good at athletics, so we went into math.
We thought it would translate to
Have
sports.
you guys ever heard of fantasy football being called Dungeons and Dragons for jocks?
I haven't till now.
No, but I've heard it called fairy tale football.
It's close.
I retired several years ago from that. my life has been so much better.
I
played
retired and I
once.
came back out of the retirement. I was a Brett Favre.
For a different team.
Yeah, I was playing with the coaches of my Pee Wee football team with them. I almost won it all. I had the most points for in regular season, and then my playoff team, I lost some players to injury or whatever. No, it was Tom Brady killed me.
Oh, yeah.
He was on my team.
He
He
is a
was
murderer.
having some streak.
He's right behind you.
Oh no! He's a
He's the Shia LaBeouf.
I want a murderer behind me.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
No, but his teammate is.
Alright, so we're going to talk about something with Mr.
Once.
Pold. Nerdiculture.
Oh yeah, let's do some nerdiculture. I'm just now getting my notes up.
Oh, no.
There we go. Podcast notes.
Notes is notes.
I don't think it'll be very long this week because I came up with a really boring topic.
Oh, boy. Well, we're going to have 2 in a row. No.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
I've got something really simple on mine.
So, there's been some things going on down at the South Pole.
I heard about this.
Penguins?
They've got an observatory called the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory.
It's actually sponsored by Ice Cube. No.
Weird. See it down there?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he hangs out down
He
there.
had to do the first shovel thing for the...
Well, they've got 1 cubic kilometer of clear ice
Whoa.
down there.
So is that like kilometer on the side? Or
Yeah.
All
That's how you make
3
a cubic
dimensions.
kilometer.
Cubic kilometer.
One
That's
by
how
one
I
by
imagined
one.
it anyway. I guess it's a kilometer deep too.
It'd have to be.
it's like it's
But what they're doing is they're
so that's it could be rectangular and like big.
Oh, I think they prefer a cube.
they have these things called digital optical modules embedded
Called
in the
eyeballs?
ice.
So do I.
The digital ones.
So they like put them in the ice, and what
Yeah.
they do is they detect neutrinos,
Yeah.
or more specifically the
Bobby
muons that
neutrino?
are affected by the neutrinos. So there's lots of neutrinos traveling through the Earth all the time,
Jimmy Neutrino?
Millions of them going through your body right now.
but they
What?
don't interact with matter usually.
Usually.
They have to hit right on a nucleus.
Right on.
So how
But they're
they're
really small.
how they're detecting them though is through Cherenkov radiation. Do you know what that is?
Radiation named after a Russian dude.
So
For 200, Bob.
when something travels faster than light, it creates this blue glow
I
that
thought
they
you couldn't.
call Cherenkov radiation.
You can if you don't have mass.
Well, actually, they've discovered that neutrinos have
So
mass.
if you're not Catholic.
Oh.
That's a good one. They've discovered that neutrinos do have mass.
No?
And they can go faster than light.
Well, the thing is, you can't go faster than light in a vacuum. However, light travels
Whoa.
slower in ice.
Oh,
Oh.
let's not.
But
have the
neutrinos
speed of
don't.
light. Not
So the neutrinos
Faster than
are
light.
traveling faster than the light is through the ice,
Weird.
and that somehow creates this Cherenkov radiation that glows blue.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
didn't
was
know
pretty
that.
cool. I didn't either. So
I
was,
knew that light traveled slower through
But the speed of light
non-vacuums,
is
but
constant, right?
So
What
they were able to
consider the
figure
speed of
out-
light?
no. In a vacuum.
Right, that's what they consider the speed of light.
Right, but if you shine
Yes,
but if
but what we're
you're in
talking
a
about is
medium other than space,
Well, right,
we're
but
talking
you know,
about something that's going faster than
you
light.
consider like a Porsche
I didn't
have the speed of a Porsche would be
Okay,
183 miles an hour.
I didn't say
if
it
you
was
go 20
going
miles an hour.
faster than
the
light speed. C, which is measured in a vacuum. I
Right.
said it was going faster than light. So the light was going slower through the
Right.
ice, but the neutrinos were not, so they were
Understand.
going faster than the ice in that medium.
Wow. That's cool.
So from this, they were able to figure out where all these
Light has more
cosmic
mass than light.
cosmic radiation is coming
Right.
from.
The source.
So does that mean that mass or light has mass then?
It does.
Otherwise, solar sails wouldn't work.
Sail away, sail away. Have they used it work yet?
That's why you're.
I think
In
that's
science fiction.
theory.
Somebody was going to launch one.
We don't launch a bunch of small ones, right?
Yeah.
The micro.
The other thing
Cloud.
that's come from this is that they have not been able to find what they call Lorentz violations.
Named after Lawrence Fishburne.
So no. So there's
Lorentz.
something that's called Lorentz symmetry.
I don't have
Which-
symmetry.
It basically means that the laws of physics are the same regardless of your frame of
A
reference.
symmetry is like a fake tree, right? Where it's,
Yeah, it's a symmetry.
It's weird, but it's asymmetrical.
So quantum physics predicts that Lorentz symmetry is a real thing. And so what they've been doing is they've been looking for times when
But
Lorentz
Monte Teo is saying-
symmetry doesn't work.
Monte predicted that the guy texting him was a woman.
Anyway, so when they're trying to see that the Lorentz symmetry does not work, then that's called a Lorentz violation. And if they find a Lorentz violation,
They give it a
then they can
citation.
say that there's
Lawrence citation.
that quantum physics is not.
For going faster than the speed of light.
I'm glad that you're taking this very complicated thing I'm trying to explain and making it incomprehensible.
He said it was boring.
I'm
I'm trying to
following.
make it
Because
clear.
I can blame it on you if people don't understand.
I
It
understand
makes
it.
total sense.
Okay, so if they find these Lorentz violations, then that means
Lawrence was an idiot.
that means Lawrence goes to jail.
Oh,
No. That
Of
means
course,
that quantum
Fishburne.
physics has a problem, and that some of these other theories, like string theory or
wrong.
something, would be more likely to be true.
Oh, more like
So it'd be similar to just like when quantum physics came about. They found that Newtonian physics was not always true.
right. Two things
It'd
can't
be-
be in the same place at the same time.
It became a subset of quantum physics. So that's what would happen if they found a Lorentz
So it's
violation.
just one-upmanship amongst physicists.
If they found a Lorentz violation, they can say quantum physics doesn't always work. It's part of this bigger theme that's, either
The theory of everything.
symmetry or string theory or whatever. Some of these other
In
theories.
fact, we always think we found the smallest particle, and then we
Yeah.
get better technology and find the small.
And so, what came of, using this ice cube neutrino observatory, they have not found
I
any.
prefer the iced tea one.
They have not found any Lorentz violations.
It was Dr. Dre.
Well, due to global warming, eventually the ice cube will become
this
ice
is Dr. Dre at the ice cube thing.
Well, it's clear ice, so I don't think there's.
Oh, vanilla ice.
No. I don't know where you think vanilla means clear.
There's a chocolate it is.
Somewhere in his
What?
twisted mind.
I'll have some of that clear ice cream. What? The vanilla.
Well, because vanilla
It's
ice is
not
part
clear.
of the Scientology, so he's clear.
Is he?
He is?
No,
Oh, I was gonna say.
he might be.
I
I don't
hadn't
know.
heard that.
He's funny, and
He's trying to say is Tom Cruise crazy?
Tom
No.
Cruise is Tom Cruise crazy. Just be glad it's him, not you.
that's enough. We don't want to get pulled for copyright violation.
My name is pulled, so it's fine. Who's gonna pull us?
Polish person.
Yeah, we have no boss.
You get the cease and desist order from
From ourselves?
YouTube.
From Jonathan
Yeah.
Oh,
Pope.
from
did.
YouTube? Wait, YouTube doesn't even let you sing a snippet of a song?
No.
I don't think that's true.
Well, what if it's bad enough that it
Can't
can't tell?
recognize it.
Do they have bots that go through and
Probably.
listen to all of them and say, hey, this one has music?
Yeah.
They
Yes,
just
they do.
They just play them all for the Shazam app. And if it comes up with something.
Well, so a long, long time ago,
The galaxy
And
for-
somebody uploaded some of our audio that had the interstitial music in it to YouTube
Oh.
with a static background,
Right.
and it got flagged for music.
Yeah.
Even though it's
They don't know.
Totally.
Free music.
yeah.
Yes.
They don't know that.
So what happens when they flag it? They send
Someone
snipers to your
reviews
house? And
Yes, I had to fight off assassins.
ninja assassins.
That's what defunct bands do. They become the assassins.
Well, they probably don't want to
So,
pay people to
Certain
research
members
whether or
of
not
Guns
the
N' Roses
music
show up at
is
your house.
Right.
free.
You would have to do the legwork to prove that it was okay or something.
Right. And you send them.
Or maybe the artist put up some, uploaded their music saying, "Hey, don't let anybody use this on YouTube." Maybe that's how it works. I
But
don't
that
know.
wasn't the case for us.
It's poetry music.
I don't know because it didn't flag all the songs, just like 2.
Huh.
It was just 2 that I used like short snippets of. Not even the one where we put the entire song at the end of the episode. That one didn't get flagged.
Weird. Maybe the person that produced it
Listen to our
decided to
podcast
start.
and you like
No, just decided to start licensing his music.
it? Did he got good enough?
It could be.
But I
Weird,
don't think
wild
YouTube's
stuff.
flagging thing makes sense. So they're kind of ambiguous, or let some things on that really shouldn't be, and then flag
That's
other
not
things that are.
Pinafore.
What?
Isn't that the where you communicate with flags?
Yes, it is.
Anyway, that was my nerdiculture. I almost said nerd cred.
All right.
Doing that story.
Okay, for technology, in the UK, they're trying to discourage
Let's put up the
people from talking on their phones while driving. Or
So they got snipers.
Just now?
Well, no,
Haven't
they've
they
been-
always discouraged you from doing that?
yeah,
Oh,
but
If the police
the
officers
UK.
see
they're
you
doing
doing it, they
something
put you to the wall.
specific
Oh, they're
now.
doing something new.
So they have these
They're
sensors.
firing neutrinos at cars.
um,
They
No one
got
noticed.
Yeah. They have these sensors near the roads that can tell if your phone is sending data, so that it assumes you're using it if it senses that.
What if
And then further down the
We're
road is a
streaming.
sign that lights up if it senses it, that has a shape of a phone with a red circle with a
and
cross
this is going
through
to
it.
stop people
What
from
if
doing
it's sitting in your console and it's... Oh, is it only if it's sending data? Not if it's like you got Pandora running or something?
So
Or a map app?
I'm not sure,
Oh, okay.
but it won't be able to tell if it's the driver or passenger
Right,
using
exactly.
it, and it won't also be able to tell if you're like using headphones, like wired headphones.
Oh, yeah.
it? Is that legal?
They did say, yeah, it's a hands-free device.
This was they'll make it legal.
Well, even the cars that you don't even have headphones, you're just talking.
Well,
over
Mine
the-
is like
so they did say that it will detect Bluetooth,
Oh, okay.
and if you're using Bluetooth
with it.
with
so you use
it, it
Bluetooth
won't
texting then. So
it won't
do.
flag it. Well, that was something I wonder. Is like you could be reading a text and not sending data,
That's true.
dangerous.
and that's more dangerous than just talking on the phone.
Unless you're spreading texts.
And you could be
It'd
typing
be like
a
reading
text,
a novel while you're driving.
which I've seen somebody
wouldn't
do
type a
that
novel.
on the freeway before.
Read a novel while
They
you're
had a
driving.
I've seen
book on their
others do
steering
that.
wheel.
I've
Stop and go
Actually,
traffic usually.
Yeah.
read in my car when I'm in stopped traffic on the highway.
Yeah, if you're totally stopped, but this was like stop and go, which is less dangerous than going. full
That's one
speed,
thing
I
that
guess.
drives me crazy about certain
Nice pun.
kinds of cars. That because
It's harder to
with my
read while
job,
you drive.
I'm renting cars more often than
Oh.
normal people. Some of the cars will not let you do anything with the phone interface while the
Yeah.
car is moving,
Right.
even if
You're
you're
the
the passenger
passenger?
doing it.
Yes.
Right.
And it's so
How's this supposed to
annoying.
know?
I know, but
Right.
it's still...
Well, it knows to turn your airbag off. There's a sensor waiting to
Well,
see.
my personal car, it came up with a warning the first time, and then you said okay, and then it let you do it.
Yeah.
Like ours, you can't type in an address on your GPS in our truck while
Yeah.
the truck's moving.
Yeah,
Because they don't trust you to
That's
make
the
good
problem.
decisions.
I've done it sometimes. There's a specific time when you're not allowed, they won't let you.
Yeah, I've gotten the rental.
They should connect it. What they should do
To the
is a
seat
lot
sensor.
of cars have a sensor to tell you if someone's in the front seat.
Right, for your airbag.
Hook that up through the Bluetooth
Yeah.
so it knows, oh, there's somebody sitting in the
So
passenger
then you
seat.
just set your backpack in there,
Yeah,
then
there
you
you go.
can text while you drive.
Or let's say you bought a thing that lets you play movies in your car and you disable the feature that doesn't let it
Well,
play unless it's in park.
if it's set up to easily be disabled, then they
Well,
won't.
disable means taking the wire that goes to the brake and just putting it to the ground.
Right.
Or that's what I've heard.
They could make
Oh.
it harder to disable that if
Some
they
people
wanted
do.
to.
Some
But
require a positive signal.
that's still pretty easy.
Yes. Who would do that though?
I don't know. Sounds dangerous. So these signs won't actually like monitor what cars are using their phones.
So it's a waste of money.
All it does is make the light turn on
So then
the
you're
side.
like,
that,
The people using them, I don't think are going to be influenced by sign.
they're too busy looking at their phone. They won't
Don't
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just basically an awareness campaign.
See, pretty soon they're gonna make it so the car won't start unless your seatbelt's buckled.
You have to blow into the thing.
I had a car like that.
Did you?
It was a Saab. I never got it running.
That's
it
because you
needed-
never had the seatbelt on.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so it was this guy I knew. I was a teenager.
Yes, I
He
remember
had this
I
car.
remember you were a teenager.
And he said, if you can get it running,
It was
just
orange,
give me,
wasn't it?
yeah, just give me like $50 if you can get it running. Otherwise, I'll deal with it. And he had sold it, and then it stopped running, and the people thought that it had something to do with the seatbelt sensor, and so they cut all the wires.
Oh,
And so I went and rewired it all and got it working, except for the part that
Yeah, why would if
was the actual problem.
I'm not sure why cutting the wires would necessarily make the seatbelt thing stop working.
I don't know.
I
It'd
think
be
it would make it so it wouldn't work ever.
right, but the part at that time was too expensive for me to get.
mm.
So I wish I had, though, because that was a cool car.
I don't like the Saabs. I think they're ugly.
Well, then the next step after that is if your credit rating's too low, then it won't start.
Right. If your society rating is too low,
Yeah.
it won't let you drive in certain places.
If
like
you
in
don't
China.
get enough likes on your Facebook page.
Right. And they shoot you.
All right, that's Technergy.
So have you guys ever sent a text message to someone unintentionally?
Probably, yes.
I know I've sent one to you.
I've gotten lots of them.
It seems like for a little while, St. Jimmy had a temporary phone number.
He has 2 phone numbers.
I have 2 phones.
This was several years ago.
Oh, when I switched back to Verizon, I got a temporary phone number
and
for
so
like a
somehow
couple days.
that ended up as his phone number, main phone number in my phone, and so I'd send him a text. I thought it was going to him, and most of the time he never answered. But one time someone said, "You have the wrong number," and I'm like, "Oh crap!" So I went in and I changed it. But
nice. I didn't realize that happened.
Most of the
Yeah.
time I tried texting you, I picked the wrong one, and then your son texts back that he has your phone and you're not home.
Yeah, it is. I know it's inconvenient for other people that I have 2 phones and I only use them one at a time.
mhm.
Been trying to keep my phone I can take to work with me most of the time, even when I'm not at work, so that if somebody texts the wrong number.
You know what's interesting is explaining to someone that you're going on a date with that you have 2 phones, because it immediately sounds like some kind of
You have
creeper.
a secret phone. I do sometimes call it my secret phone, but because nobody has the number except for like you guys and
Oh,
my
okay.
wife and Master's Ed.
But I
has
was like,
it.
no, because I can't have a camera on at work.
I can't take my good phone to work, so
So
I
I
have
have
a
a crappy
backup
phone.
one.
But see, mine, I just switched the SIM card out.
Oh,
So,
well, I just had an old phone that I didn't have a plan anymore, so that I could put music and podcasts on it.
uh-huh.
But then it was like, man, I really wish I had a phone I could text with my wife.
Right.
So I pay like $25 a month for like the cheapest teen plan, so that I can text and call from work and use internet.
So there's a guy named Corey from Joliet. I don't know what city he's
Illinois,
Is that in Illinois?
I think
Oh, it
so.
says Joliet, USA, so it's a foreign article.
Oh, I think that's in Illinois.
But he got
That
a
sounds
text
like-
message from somebody and thought it was a joke and or an offensive text.
Oh, so your thing was actually part of your news story?
Yes.
Oh,
We just took it off the rails.
sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, so he got a text. He thought it was fake.
Yeah, it said, let's see.
I have your wife.
No, it says, I'm making you come at 12 on Friday. So he didn't recognize the number. They thought it was some kind of message, like a joke message or something. So he sent back a response. First off, you're not making me do S. Which is, Second off, I don't remember scheduling a D-word appointment. So a little while later, his phone buzzed again. And this was a text message saying, "This is your boss. I got a new number."
Nice.
So his boss is trying to tell him his schedule.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully he still has a schedule.
I have gotten text messages from the wrong people, or they thought they were texting somebody else.
I've done that too.
I've
Yeah.
had this kid from high school text me, and he said, "This is so-and-so and something." I'm like, "I think you have the wrong number." And he's like, "No, I'm in your math class." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you're not in my math class." Anyway, it went on for
Someone
back
don't
and
believe
forth.
you.
I'm
He did not believe me.
37.
I know you're called Dennis. I had one where if I had gotten one more text message, I was going to contact the police so they could maybe set up a sting with my phone.
Oh.
There's someone trying to get Oxy
Oh.
from
And you
somebody.
stopped selling that a long
So
time
he
ago.
was an oxymoron?
Yes.
Well, I was
Because
getting...
the first I told them they had the wrong number, and then they just kept on going with when I set up a meeting time and they needed some Oxy now. And
That'd be funny if it was a cop trying to
I don't know.
do a
I
sting.
tried just to ignore him for a long time, but
You show up with OxyClean.
Here you go.
Here you are.
$100.
You said you wanted to pay $100 for it. It'll get your clothes
yeah, I probably
really
get
clean.
attempted murder put out because they probably snorted or something, thinking it was crushed up Oxy.
You show with Tide Pods.
I have some of those.
Oh, you do?
How do they taste?
I'm not eating.
Oh.
Why would you eat them?
You
I don't
swallow
know.
the whole.
So I was getting texts and calls from like a temp agency, and they were saying like, "Hey, we need you to call us back. We have a job for you," And I was just ignoring it. And finally, the guy started sounding angry, like, "Hey, if you don't, this is a good gig. You're gonna lose it if you don't call me back immediately." So I texted him. I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but you have the wrong number. I hope that you can find this guy or whatever, that's looking for a job, that needs a job really bad, but stop texting
Or you could
me."
say, "Does it have nice benefits?"
So then the guy apologized and, "Oh, I'm sorry. He must have given me the wrong number or something." And then like a month later, I got a text from the same place with basically the same thing. And I'm like, "Wrong number." It's like, you don't want to hire this guy. He can't give you the right phone number.
Right. Well, this guy seems like he's bad at stuff anyways, because apparently she then sent another text message saying that she wanted to discuss the terms of employment now. And he just ignored that one, figuring he'd just go in the next day to work and talk to her in person. That works. I don't appreciate you just ignoring them.
Nice.
Anyway, he'd put the messages on Twitter, and people were having conversations about what he should do.
So
Make sure you check who you're texting before you. At least most message things will like change the color of the screen from one person to the next.
Oh.
So different conversations are coded different. At least on iPhone.
I sometimes worry that I might send the wrong text message to the wrong person.
If you never say anything offensive, you don't have to worry about it.
I know, but what if I think I'm texting my wife? And
you text your ex-wife?
That would be embarrassing.
I had worked with this guy that was sending an email to his girlfriend, but he accidentally sent it to our lead. And so that was not a good plan because the lead printed it out and brought it over and read it to everybody that were around. And it was pretty, it wasn't anything bad in it, but it was very mushy.
That's my running joke in the office where I hang up with my wife and tell her I love her. Everyone looks at me like I'm a mechanic.
What, he does good work.
He said, "No, I meant I'm a landlubber."
Our next segment is consumption, where we talk about media week. Oh, that's the new consumption.
That's what happens when dogs get consumption.
I think you heard him.
Yeah, now he's whiny.
This is the one up.
Oh.
He's like, "Why did you do that to me? I don't want to be on the show."
He's broken.
You broke him.
Come here. Come here. Well, maybe we'll start with Mr. Pold this time.
Okay.
Consumption, is he always on there first?
So this past week I watched the first 2 Hobbit movies.
Oh. Unexpected Journey and
Unexpected Journey.
Skyscraper?
I didn't put the next one on because I finished it probably 45 minutes before I came over.
Oh.
The Desolation of Smaug.
Still not enough time to type something in there.
Which is interesting because the movie ends right before the dragon takes out the town. So you're teased about this desolation, but
Yeah, the whole time you're expecting it, and then there's no payoff.
well, you're like, oh, we're gonna see him burn down this town, but then the
Oh,
movie
I don't get to
ends.
see it burn down the town.
I have to wait for the next film to come. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I like them. I like Martin Freeman.
I do too, and it's funny that the dragon's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Sherlock and
His
Watson.
mate from Sherlock.
They're saying it's ridiculous.
I realized watching The Desolation of Smaug that I had
It's not about LA.
seen I had seen the middle of the movie multiple times, but I've only seen it all the way through. This was my second time seeing it all the way through. So
I think I have it on DVD.
some of the parts with the dragon and the dwarves inside the mountain were a little far-fetched. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The chase scene down the river's
I
not
guess there's
far-fetched?
only 9 of them there at the time. That all 9 dwarves and the hobbit survive this dragon just demolishing the place. Anyway. It's still pretty good.
I don't know if I've seen the second and third one more than just once.
Yeah.
In the theater.
Okay, and so then in the theater I watched Skyscraper.
Oh.
Now this is a Dwayne Johnson film.
Oh.
You guys heard of it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Slightly.
So he made it as kind of a homage to Die Hard and Towering Inferno. So it's basically there's a skyscraper. There's some crazy people that want to get something that's in the skyscraper. I don't think they're German.
Oh.
And there's one man that stands in between them. Oh, no.
Stands in the way.
Basically, they take his family hostage, and nobody else is in the building because it's
Christmas.
No, it's not Christmas.
It's Ramadan.
I won't. Anyway, so he does a lot of death-defying feats of strength and courage.
Just say feats.
Which kind of, you're like, if it was a normal person, they would have too much vertigo to be able to do this stunt.
Mm.
But it's The Rock, so
Yeah.
of course he can do it. That's how I felt about the film. So I had no problem with the fact that he's climbing up this really tall crane, or that he's jumping.
My only problem with the movie was I feel like I've seen the movie because the preview went into way too much detail.
That is the problem, because the previews were very detailed and basically gave away all the plot.
Oh, I don't remember much about it.
Like there's a movie coming out where there's
probably enjoy it.
a lady and a guy are taking a boat someplace, like a sailboat, and they get in a storm,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes missing,
Right.
and she finds him. But that's all in the preview.
Right.
They're like, why don't we see that movie? You just give away the whole stressful part of the movie.
But
we don't have to worry about it. She finds him later.
Yeah. The cool part about that movie, though, is the character that he plays is an amputee.
Oh, yeah.
Not according to some amputees themselves who think that it should be an amputee person that's playing the part. Just say I read that article. I could use that as a news story.
If you can't see me, I'm rolling my eyes so hard that my head's rocking back.
And, what's her name? What is her name?
Scarlett
Johansson caved to somebody that said she shouldn't be playing a transgender person in the movie about a transgender person.
That's
so
ridiculous.
She caved and she pulled herself out of the project.
Which means the movie probably won't do as well.
Right, because you're not putting it someone with star power in there. You're.
So you can only play people that are exactly like
And
you.
it can only be people that wouldn't have vertigo climbing. They have to actually climb the.
So.
Good thing we play ourselves in this
No
podcast.
joke.
Somewhat.
So That is so ridiculous. It doesn't deserve a response. But I will give
It's
a response.
appropriations of the worst kind.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. You're talking about the trans. Never mind.
No, I'm talking about people complaining that that role should have been played by an amputee. No.
Well, think about the
And it should have been played by somebody that actually works or lives in a
I looked into
skyscraper.
this guy that played a nerd in the show, and I do not agree that he's
Under
a
that
nerd.
same
I think that role should go to a real nerd.
under that same mentality, then that means
You can't play an alien.
His wife should have been played by his actual wife.
people
His
of
kids'
small
actual
stature can only play people of small stature.
Yes, there's
Instead of
people that
like
say
Peter
that.
Dinklage playing that very large character in
Oh, yeah,
the,
that's true, right? Yeah,
that one movie,
It should
the
have been like Shaquille O'Neal.
Marvel movie.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty funny,
Yes, I agree. That was funny.
but
I like Peter
That was
Dinklage.
in Thor,
no, it wasn't
No, it
in
was
Thor.
in the.
It was in the
Infinity War.
Infinity Wars, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave that away. You haven't seen it yet, right?
I've seen it now.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out long enough ago that most people. I should have said spoiler alert, but
Spoiler alert,
Anyway.
Peter Dinklage is in it.
just because The Rock is not cool enough to actually be an amputee doesn't mean they should keep him from playing that role.
Maybe if he really wanted the role, he should have had his leg cut off.
Well, he pretty much produced the movie, and he did it on purpose that way, so that an amputee would be the hero of the story and would be able to do that kind of thing.
So it was an homage.
Yes.
Cool. Was he like a veteran or something?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
Cool.
Spoiler alert.
Well,
I was just wondering if it was to.
I didn't say a veteran of what,
Oh, yeah.
but
Water
he
polo.
did lose his limb in the line of duty.
Oh, cool.
So
It's an awesome block of the ball from water polo. I took the leg off. Clean up.
If you're
He got his legs out of the water.
we might as well just stop making films now.
I think that's her intent.
Yes. Well, it's just these days people just want to complain about everything.
It's the outrageism.
Yes. It's a new sport.
I just.
I am outraged that everyone's outraged about everything.
Tough.
It's very
Toughen up, Buttercup.
meta. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I watched.
I watched Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
So
I've seen that.
I listened
Oh, get
to
no respect.
a podcast called How Stuff Work. No, Stuff You Should Know,
Yes.
and they did an episode about Rodney Dangerfield, and they talked about this
No
movie.
respect.
And then I saw that it was on Amazon Prime, so I
That
watched it.
explains your joke earlier. Take my wife.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
seriously.
So some interesting casting. Robert Downey Jr. is in it as a
What?
college student. He's very young. He's got like blue dyed hair, and he's like all anti.
And he's not wearing any iron.
Yeah.
It's weird. He has the same glasses.
Sam Kinison is in it as a teacher. He's pretty funny. Let's see.
Does he have mullet?
Robert Picardo's in it?
Yeah, Robert Picardo is in it.
Danny Elfman? Wow.
He's only in it for a short time at the beginning of the movie, but he's like Rodney Dangerfield's wife's. What's the male
Mistress?
version of a mistress?
Gigolo?
Mister. Well, anyways,
Kept man.
he's
and Ned
funny
Beatty's in it?
Ned Beatty's in it. He's dean of the school, and his last name's Martin. So the entire movie they call him Dean Martin. Let's see. Was there somebody else I wanted to mention? No, I guess not. But yeah. So what happens is Rodney Dangerfield is the.
Oingo
Spoiler
Boingo in the
alert.
movie?
Well, no, they play. There's a song in there, and Danny Elfman plays it.
Oh, I was just seeing on the end of your cast list it said Oingo Boingo.
Oh yeah. So the band Yeah. Was Danny Elfman in Oingo Boingo?
I don't
I
know.
think he's a producer, isn't he?
He's a musician. He did the music for the film,
Oh, okay.
but he also was in the band when they played in the film. But so Rodney Dangerfield's character is head of this clothing store line, and so he's got a ton of money, and his son is at college, and he and his son's stepmom break up, and he decides he's going to go visit his son at college. Well, his son isn't doing very well. He's like about to drop out. He didn't make the swim team, which is why he went there. And so Rodney Dangerfield decides to enroll and do college with his sons because he never went to college. And it's actually has a good message to it about you can't just, buy everything you want. You actually have to put in some effort, and he learns a lot about relationships. And
It sounds like, what was that? Happy Gilmore. Not Happy Gilmore, another one. He goes back to school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Billy Madison.
There you go.
So Elfman was the front man for Oingo
Oh,
Boingo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was actually good. So basically the whole movie is each scene is set up to just give Rodney Dangerfield opportunity to give one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually a pretty good movie. So it's from 1986.
Yeah, it's got 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. Let's say that.
Well, how did you watch it?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing I watched is the movie I watched with Masters and Charlie,
Oh,
A Quiet Place.
I want to see this one.
this is a
So-
silent film?
It doesn't have any dialogue until you're like 45 minutes in.
Oh,
They
okay.
speak with sign language because if you make
Are there
noise,
subtitles for the sign language?
Yes, there
Oh,
are.
good.
if you make
No, it's
noise,
like the Wookiee Christmas movie.
Oh,
especially human speech attracts these blind aliens that can hear really well. I guess they don't ever explain what they are, but they look like aliens.
and they're offended by human speech.
But any noise sets them off.
So they're from Twitter.
Yes.
They're social justice aliens.
They're the ones that were complaining the most about the
Right.
Rock not being a amputee.
So it's basically most of humanity is gone and wildlife is gone. And there's just these people. It focuses on this family. It's pretty much the only cast besides a couple other people that are momentarily in it. But it's just this family. The dad is John Krasinski and the mom is Emily Blunt. And they have kids, and their oldest is a girl, and she's deaf. And so that's why they all know sign language. And they're basically living their lives in silence.
So she doesn't know if she's making noise.
Right, but they have everything set up to be quiet. Like, at one point they're playing Monopoly, but all the pieces are soft things.
Mm.
So, like, the hotels are just these, like, fluffy dot things, and
So no Legos in this world.
no Legos, no
Oh.
toys that make noise. All the lights have cages around them so you don't accidentally break a light bulb. They have sand poured everywhere so that they can walk more quietly. It was really good. It was kind of intense in parts. It's kind of a
Oh, they were
suspense
camping?
thriller. No.
Guess not.
So yeah, it was pretty good. I recommend it. He bought it on Apple or something.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not
I'm
on.
not for it because they can't listen to our podcast.
Well, they can actually listen to earbuds.
Oh, earbuds. Okay.
Yes, they do have that at
Those
one
are
point.
quite enough to.
But
Yeah.
they're playing characters that are being insulted by aliens, so they shouldn't do that because
So
it
is
should only be people
the
that
daughter actually deaf, or did they get a hearing girl to
I'm
play
just
the
saying they
deaf
should
girl?
have gotten
I don't know.
people that have been
Look it up.
abducted by aliens should have played the.
Oh, yes.
is the girl.
Is it an actual
in
alien
a
playing the alien?
quiet? It's CG.
That's even worse. You're replacing
really
a person
deaf.
or an alien with a computer.
Yeah. Put him out of a job.
Okay, John Krasinski pushed to cast a deaf actress for A Quiet Place.
Here we were
It
joking
was
about
really
it.
amazing and brought an extra depth to the film. So, looks like Millicent Simmons, who plays the deaf daughter,
Is deaf.
is deaf.
Okay then.
Because John Krasinski insisted that they get a deaf actress. She was really good in it. That's her right there.
I'm sure John Krasinski's gonna screw up one of these times.
We'll
And
get
then Twitter will get him.
No, they did for this movie.
Oh.
Because feminists got him because he played a very strong, capable head of a household of a wife and a daughter.
Ooh.
And the wife actually
But
listened to what
what
he
if
said.
he's like that in real life?
That's true.
Then they had to cast him.
Wait, is he really a dad?
He's coming out in a movie, I think,
He's
that
coming
I
out?
can't wait for. No.
Can he play straight parts then?
He's going to be Jack Ryan in the new Amazon thing.
Series. Yeah.
Yeah, but has he ever been an actual CIA an analyst? I don't think so.
He could be. If you watch the Jean-Claude Van Johnson, I think a lot of our action stars are actually...
Oh, he is really a dad. Oh, Emily Blunt's his real wife.
Yes. So they're set up
Wow.
perfectly for this.
No wonder he was so forceful with her. in
But the aliens! They should have been played by a married couple with a deaf child. Wasn't a real child, though, was it?
No, I doubt his children are deaf.
So basically, this
Maybe.
movie is encouraging Twitter users.
Well, they could do it in a quiet place.
You know, if there was a no-name actor in Skyscraper, I would not have seen it. The only reason I saw it was because The Rock was in it.
Right.
That's the only reason I watch any of
You're
The Rock's
enabling
movies.
him
I like The Rock.
I'm enabling The Rock to make
to
fistfuls of money.
to
Oh, what was the one
His
where...
franchise amputees.
What was
what's
the big
the-
earthquake thing?
San Andreas.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
one.
I liked him in the Hercules movie he did.
Oh, yeah, that was good, too.
Oh, I really liked him in Jumanji.
I liked him in Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, yeah, he made the movies fun.
Whoa, I'm older than Emily Blunt.
Who isn't?
Well, you guys obviously are. How old's John Krasinski? Oh, he's older than me.
Oh, my new co-op that I'm mentoring at work was born the year after I got married.
Whoa! So you are literally old enough to be
Yes.
their dad.
That means the whole Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies are politically incorrect because
Martin Freeman
They
isn't
didn't
really a
have-
hobbit.
they didn't have real dwarves play the dwarves.
Oh, they
They're
should have.
different than what we
In
call
fact,
dwarves.
Gimli was probably the tallest actor on the set. The what's his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Legolas.
No.
Oh, the actor that
That's-
plays Gimli.
Yeah, that's he was in Sliders.
Yeah.
He was in Indiana Jones.
Gimli.
I don't like sliders, but
John Rhys Davies.
Yes, John Rice Davies.
Oh, I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah. How tall is he? Does it say?
6'1".
Okay, so he wasn't probably the
oh, that's
tallest.
from Indiana Jones.
He's British, so it's actually no. just
So
kidding.
he's my height.
He's
That's where
married
you get
too.
horses, not camels.
He played a single person.
He's 30 years older than me.
You don't know if he's single, man.
Yeah, that's true.
His wife was
He's
the
not
other
really
dwarf.
Egyptian. What?
His wife was the other dwarf at the meeting of the fellowship.
All right. Yeah. So watch A Quiet Place. It's really good.
Even though they were on the nose with the actors they hired.
Yeah.
No, if they just got a normal dad to play the character, or it might not have been as big a deal if it's a big name actor. Especially two big name actors that are married.
So we talked about this, Master's Ed, Charlie and I afterwards, and it's like we were thinking, like, man, if they were engineers, they could have done that better. But then it's like, yeah, they could have done this. No, I guess that would make noise to do
We
that.
should make a zombie movie where it's just a bunch of engineers hanging around the house that has doorknobs on it.
Well,
So
so
you never barely see the zombies. Occasionally see out the window. There's one in the backyard. But
You know how
they're
people
doing it because
talk
they can't
about
get in, so
what-
they can't work a doorknob.
what your zombie weapon would be, like a gun or a sword or something.
Walking shoes.
I would be like, give me a thing of razor wire. I would just put it around, and it would cut all the zombies in half. Put it at like neck height, and then maybe one a little further lower in case there's like a
Children
short
ones?
zombie.
Children ones?
Yeah.
Chillins, and then dig a moat. You're good. They fall in. They get cut in half,
Gasoline in it.
fall in the moat, and you just light them on fire every few days. Or you just have something that makes noise that draws them to that, and then it's like it's a wood chipper. Anyway,
Or just get a house with doorknobs.
I usually chip with like my putting wedge or something. No,
you don't chip with a wood.
not pitching wedge. There you go. No, I don't usually chip with my wood.
He's looking at you with disdain for your golf
For my failed golf joke.
illiteracy.
You might be able to use it if you turn it around or hit left-handed with it. Your putter.
Were you the one that was giving me a hard time about talking about scores in
Yeah, I did
softball?
jokingly. That it runs.
Okay, fine, runs, whatever you want to call
He
it.
told me Ross that he scored the other night, and Ross is like, I don't think I need to know that.
We'll just assume.
Just take it as a given.
All right, what's your consumption there?
So I watched a movie called How It Ends with,
Was there spoilers?
no, there wasn't.
It's Theo,
What's his name?
Theo
John Rhys
James and the
Star Wars guy.
Star Wars.
Oh, the guy that was in Star Wars?
Yeah,
Well, I just have Lawrence
it's,
Fishburne in my brain.
I know. Me too.
Billy D. Williams.
No, he was in Rogue One. He was also in
The Spanish
Black
guy?
Panther. No, he was in Black
I can't
Panther.
remember his
The
name.
Weasley?
I was just talking about
No.
him not that long ago, like this morning.
I've got it. It's on the tip of my.
I can picture him.
Can you? Well, I can't picture him.
I can't believe this. Anyways, it's a husband is on the, or a guy's on the phone with his girlfriend after trying to tell her parents that
Forrest
Whitaker.
Whitaker.
she's trying to tell her parents, one of them being Forrest Whitaker, that they were going to get married. Forrest Whitaker was a 27-year in the Marine Corps, I think, guy who did not like this guy.
And
He
he
was
didn't like
dating his
marriage
sister.
either.
Well, plus he was dating his daughter. Because he took his daughter and moved her to Seattle. He's visiting them in New York. So he wasn't happy that they moved away from him, I think. While he's on the phone with her, when he just missed or was late for his flight, they hear a weird noise over the phone, and then she looks scared, and then the phone dies. Then pretty soon the power goes out everywhere. And so they get in a car and they head west from New York, trying to drive to Seattle to try to rescue
From York?
New York.
New York? Well, that's
From
even further
Forrest.
than York.
Yeah,
No,
from
it's a
Forrest
much
Whitaker's
closer.
daughter. It's like
Well,
go
York's
across
in
the country
Pennsylvania.
as the country's
Oh,
slowly
I
sliding
was thinking New
into
York, England.
post-apocalyptic type, people.
I actually
Kind of
started this, but didn't get very far into it the
And
other
then
night.
get to the end.
I liked it.
No,
I had to watch it over 2 sessions because I had to go get my son for work.
from Seattle.
Some guys at work were talking about today. They didn't like it at all. I thought it was stupid.
Huh.
Like, it's not very long.
Yeah.
Then I watched a really good movie. I watched Boondock Saints.
Oh, that is a good one. I like Willem Dafoe.
Yes, he's very good in this. This is about
Does he
two.
play the Green Goblin in this one?
He does not.
John Clark?
Practically.
No, kind of. So it's about two Irish lads that are like in their 20s, I think, right? Late
It
20s?
seems like it.
Maybe late 20s. Good Catholic Irish lads that.
But were the actors actually Catholic?
I don't know.
We'll
There's
find
all these
out.
Catholic actors that need
It
jobs.
has a guy from. Dang it. This is bad. I can't remember names tonight.
Maybe you should just cut it short and go pick up your son.
Baby. That guy.
Oh, it's got Norman Reedus in it
Yes.
and Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yes, and Billy Connolly.
Oh,
Anyway, they get in a fight with some Russian mobs. 'cause
Norman Reedus isn't Irish.
and they end up beating these guys up, and then they show up at their place later, and stuff kicks off from them. They end up kind of being neighborhood superheroes, where they're taking down all the bad guys, all the mobsters in town. They're killing them.
So he named his son
Mingus.
Mingus Reedus. So it rhymes? That's interesting.
Weird.
There's a Mingus Aretas. Yes. And then I've been watching almost done with Critical Role first season, which is a D&D thing. And I watched an episode of He-Man last night.
By
Original
the
or
power
original?
of Grayskull.
It's episode 2. The moral was to be careful around strangers and not let them in your house.
Oh,
Because Evil Lynn
where
was
did you watch
disguised as another sorceress on Netflix.
I thought you said Evil Lid.
No,
And
Evil
then I'm
Lynn.
like, oh, you probably said Evil Lid.
Evil Lynn, the bad sorceress, disguised herself as another sorceress and then turned the king into a goat.
That
Wacko
can
into a
sometimes
grasshopper. He-Man into a gold statue, and then the sorceress started turning into a tree.
Weird.
Anyway.
That's why you don't let strangers
That
in
was
your
a really
house,
good-
because they'll try to sell you a vacuum.
Right.
Or they'll turn you into a tree.
Oh my gosh, I'd rather be turned into a tree. And that's it.
All right. Does anybody have any nerd cred this week?
So I was watching. Oh, I think I was watching the 4400, and I saw the name for one of the writers, Ira Stephen Bear. I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I
And
thought that sounded familiar.
so
That's good writing.
my wife's like, what? So I looked up and showed her, yeah, see? She's like, that's got to be your cred. I'm like, okay.
Bob Marley's in that movie?
Well,
He's got a
Weird.
purple beard.
weird. Not Bob Marley.
Ira
Stephen
Stephen
Bear.
Bear.
The legend.
Space
I
Nine.
recognize him.
He
I've seen
wrote a
one
book
interview.
about. He wrote Ferengi books.
That makes sense, because Deep Space Nine has a lot about Ferengis in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess I was nerdy for recognizing a writer's name for a show
That's cool.
and what other shows they watched.
I think I
wrote.
talked about this before the show, but I was in a boring meeting, so I drew some pictures. One of them was a snail, but his shell was the clock.
That's
Oh.
very creative.
And then I also drew a picture that no one could understand, but it was a guy watching paint dry. Then I've been working on the final map from the module you guys are playing in my D&D game
Yes.
Uh-huh.
in Minecraft.
Oh.
But LFG is out of town, and they decided that 1 week he's out of town would be when they'd update the Minecraft version.
Hmm.
I think he has to go in and update the version of our
Realm.
realm.
Oh.
So I'm building this in just a standalone
Uh,
world. Which is unfortunate. I was almost done with what I was working on. And then I could put a piano on a trailer by myself.
You did.
yeah, I marveled at that because I wouldn't have been able to do that.
I used my come along and a tow rope and another rope and
Made a
some
ramp.
ramps. Made some ramps.
I'd like
real
to
quick.
say I wouldn't have attempted it, but I probably would have too.
I had lots of people ask me why you didn't just get help. I was like, I wanted to prove I could do it by myself.
Yeah, why not? Why else?
And then we backed the trailer up to my porch.
And so later I
and-
can play a guy that can put a piano on a trailer by himself in a movie.
Right.
Otherwise I can't.
Yeah, that was good that we were able to move the trailer up to St. Jimmy's porch,
and then put the ramp across like a drawbridge, and then
put a
we got
jack
my jack
underneath,
and jacked up the end
Yeah.
so it wouldn't tip. It was pretty
and we
good
just
engineering.
rolled it in.
Ingenuity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Engineering, ingenuity. You got combine those two.
Something.
That's why we don't have super bulky muscles and hit home runs every time we play softball.
Yeah.
Well, some of us don't.
Yeah, I hit home runs every time I play softball. On TV.
No, they actually didn't make any home runs,
Oh.
but they did have one hit the top of the fence and fall on our side of the fence.
So I think that's nerd cred.
If you want to contact us, send an email to engineerdyshow@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Engineerdy Show or go to theengineerdyshow.com. You can find links to our Facebook and Twitter there. You can also click through the Amazon link in the top menu to do your Amazon shopping. That supports the show and doesn't cost you anything extra.
And if you're a time traveler, you should go to my party on Saturday at my house.
I went.
It's going to be great. It was and will be
So now I
great.
can play a guy in a movie that's been to your birthday party.
Also, check out our Engineerdy Show Vulcan Salute t-shirts. They're pretty sweet. Thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
They taste like cotton candy.
We have been and always shall be, my nerds.
live long and nerdy.
You could not do
I
it.
couldn't do it. Well, I actually forgot what it was for a minute. I'm like, what do I usually say?
No.